everyone, I am Amy, your hidden consumer expert, and today we're going to have more talk about the book, but I brought in my editor, Jen Dorsey from Broadbook Group, and she's going to help. We're going to talk about some fun things in the news right now, like corn sweat, and she lives in Iowa, so this gets to be even more interesting. So we're going to have a fun chat. This is the Broadbook Group write your own proposal page. So if you're looking at doing your own book and you're wondering what that process looks like, start here and get all that information from Jen and Vanessa. And right now, Jen, why don't you introduce a little bit about yourself and tell us why you do what you do?
Okay, well, thanks so much for having me. You're one of my favorite authors, of course.
Of course.
Of course, yes. And we actually got to know each other because you were doing website work for us, and then we started talking about your book, and things just went from there. But what we do at Broadbook Group and Press, Press is the traditional publishing arm of our group. We are a hybrid publisher. And so what that means is that we work with authors who want to have an author partnership with us. We work together on nonfiction books. We do high quality nonfiction in the areas of reference and business, personal growth, performing arts. We do a little bit of everything. So it's a lot of fun. And now we're getting into the hidden consumer business, which is super exciting. So that's what we do. We also do author marketing. So if you need some marketing help, PR help, we coordinate all of that for authors as well.
Yep. And one of the main reasons I work with you guys specifically is when we chatted about the book and the marketing, it's not about marketing up to launch day. It's about how do you market afterwards, because the people who write these books are writing them for your business. So how do you make the push with your book after you've launched? And that was a huge conversation we had, and one of the big reasons why I'm like, hey, let's work together. Besides the fact that I love you guys.
Well, likewise, thank you.
So I had a meeting yesterday because we meet every week with Vanessa, who helps with the marketing side of the book and all the stuff we're doing there. And we were talking about I had one of my favorite, if you watched my last live stream, one of my favorite allergists out of Chicago put out a huge warning for those with asthma because corn sweat was hitting the Midwest. And I'm like, oh, my book! For those who don't know, the original title of my book was called The Corn Dilemma. And and the hidden consumer is really kind of evolved out of that about how we're over dependent on corn. So you live in the middle of corn sweat country. Do you want to talk about it? Like, what's your experience?
Yes. I live in Southern Illinois, actually, not Iowa. And no, that's fine. Listen, when you're driving through Illinois and Iowa, it all kind of looks the same. So I'm confused as well. But no, we live in Southern Illinois. I'm actually right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri. That's our biggest city. But that's very urban, and where we live is very not. And so I actually live abutted to like a 100-acre field. We are in the country, and so this year it's a bean year. So I have beans behind my house, which is great. But further down the road, yes, the corn is here. It is starting to tassel, and so when the corn starts to tassel and the corn silks, vegetables kind of sweat just like people do. And so that releases water vapor into the air. And so that's why it's so darn humid here, as opposed to out where you live. And that kind of contributes to it. So, a field can release like a whole lot of water into the atmosphere every day. So like today, the high is 95, but it feels like 110. Because of the humidity. And I don't know that that's all corn's fault. I'm sure there are other things.
I'm going to be angsty and say a good portion of it's corn's fault.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm nice and cool next to my bean field right now, but if it were a corn year, I mean, it's literally planted like right up to our backyard. So it makes a great privacy fence in the summer. But the corn sweat is real.
And it's that humidity. Like I'm a Minnesota girl. I grew up with humidity, and Minnesota, we have just as many cornfields. But yeah, it's like you step outside and it's like, oh, Mother Nature gave me a shower.
Yeah, it's just, well, it doesn't help that where we are, we're right by the Mississippi River, like the lower part of the Mississippi, and so
Okay.
it's swampy here. Just as swampy.
Oh, yay. I mean, technically you're south.
Gosh, I'm missing the dry California heat right about now.
And it's so Midwesterners, we're going to have a quick weather conversation here, and it's just going to say it's been so cool here. I turned my AC off. I'll turn it back on today.
Why'd you tell me that? Now I'm really jealous.
Because it's a lot of fun to say it's been only 80 degrees here. Like
Yeah.
Southern Illinois is warmer than it is in Southern California. How
Yep.
weird is this?
That's super weird.
And this kind of is a great lead-in for weather changes and everything that's happening right now in our world. And if we look at the hidden consumer that's concerned about the environment, my big thing overall is, people, we're not getting to the root of the issue. Corn is a big part of it. It's not the only thing. Don't come at me. But corn's a huge issue. I mean, if it's affecting our humidity and from the Midwest through to the East Coast, like projections are, this corn sweat has to keep moving. It's not going to stay. It's weather.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got the group of consumers that are often ignored because they're considered, well, they're environmentalists, right? We're not going to put a lot of credit into what they're saying, doing, or they don't like plastics. Well, just, that's their thing. And it's more to it than that. Like people who are concerned about the environment are really thinking about what's going to happen next. And that's where that's why I wrote a section on the environment, because they are your hidden consumer. And corn sweat is a perfect example of how our concerns for the environment can impact and what we're seeing day to day. I just kind of went off there. Sorry.
No, I think that's totally right. And, you have a section in your book where you talk about conscientious consumers and the very people that we're talking about here who have concerns that may not necessarily be directly related to their own health the way yours are, like maybe not allergy related or what have you, but they care about things that broadly impact everybody and broadly impact large groups of people. And so, I think that, that's a bigger part of the hidden consumer market than I think people give it credit for. It's really easy to say, well, the hidden consumers, strictly people who have allergies. And I don't think that's the case at all.
It's not it.
And I know you don't think that.
Yeah, no, and it's funny, when I first launched the brand, I launched it as an allergy marketing business.
Right.
And then as I really dug into like what the hidden consumer is and really expanding my knowledge and how I was going to shape what the hidden consumer is, because I got to do that. Thought leader, woo! I really realized that people are not buying food for multiple reasons. It's not just your allergies, your intolerances. It's how's it? Vegans have been around forever. Vegetarians, they're health conscious consumers. They're concerned about the future. It's a major help, and I think it's those conscientious consumers that most people, they might even realize they're there, but they don't understand the depth of why they do what they do, and that's the difference. And it's a big part of why in the marketing, when I talk to people, it's how are you promoting your product with purpose? You didn't just create a product, right? The people who are trying to do better and trying to find people like me, but you're not really emphasizing what's different. What makes you more unique than the rest of the world? Oh, did I lose you? So, and that's where a huge part. Oh, there, you're back. Yay.
Yay, sorry. Even the Wi-Fi has corn sweat right now.
I had to fix mine. Yep, I get that.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, not to dilute the brand of hidden consumer at all, but I think we're all we all have a sliver of conscientious consumer in us, whether we realize it or not, as you were saying. Because as you were talking, I was thinking about my journey with milk, which so I'm a milk drinker and I still am. I don't know if it's it's a Midwest thing, but it because I'm diabetic, I'm really not supposed to drink a lot of things that are not, just water or plain tea or coffee. And milk affects my blood sugar. So I tried to find a good replacement for it. And so I started drinking almond milk, but then I did research and saw like how bad of a carbon footprint that is because it takes a bajillion almonds to make. Bajillion is not a real number, but it takes a heck of a lot of almonds to make 1 gallon of almond milk. And then you think about all the production that has to go into that. And I was like, well, I feel like a bad person for the environment for drinking almond milk. And don't come at me, almond milk people. I mean, if you have better stats, please share them with me. Reassure me about almond milk. But I was like, wow, I don't know that, I feel okay doing that either, even though it was better for my sugar. So I think we're all kind of navigating those choices with everything we buy.
And there's so much that's still hidden within those. Like the food companies aren't telling us everything. Like when I was going through my sensitivity levels, I didn't realize it was the container the milk came in that was triggering my allergies. Like seriously. And then when you add on top of that the added sugars, because it's not it's not naturally sweet. The sugars are then made from corn. So hence corn sweat, because corn is literally used in everything. We are so over dependent on this product. But it just keeps digging itself deeper and deeper. And it's like depending on where you are with your consciousness too, it depends on how much you need to know to stay safe. So it's Ooh. So what's your alternative right now then? If you're not drinking almond milk, or are you drinking almond milk?
I'm not. I just went back to regular milk, and we're lucky here in Illinois. We've got Prairie Farms is local-ish. I mean, it's a Midwest brand, and so I buy from them because I like to support local farmers. And my husband and I are both from farming families, and so that's important to us. So there's another conscientious consumer decision, more so what to add in than what to take out. So we do that, and we've got a couple of other great local dairies and creameries here. Shout out to Rolling Hills Farms; they're awesome. So I do that, and I just don't drink as much milk. And I'm like, you know what? I'll let myself have my milk and cookies every now and then, and I just don't test my sugar that day.
No.
Because if you don't check it, it's fine.
As long as you're not feeling anything, you're good. You're good.
Totally.
It is what I miss in Minnesota. I would buy from our local, there was a farmer within like 20 miles of where I lived that I would get my milk from, is Arrowhead Milk, and they distributed within the local grocery stores. It was a glass bottle, so I could go only drink whole milk because I can't do all the other additives. But since moving to California in 2018, I've no milk. My only dairy is cheese, which I'm losing that now too. That'll be a whole separate segment though.
Oh, I want to come back for the cheese show.
So mad. They're adding corn to cheese. Like, why? I mean, it's not like processed cheese you expect. It's not real cheese. But like singles you buy, that's not real cheese. But my real blocks of cheese, they're adding corn, and it's a worldwide thing. So it's not just here in the US. The cheese I tried in France got me sick as well.
Really? Oh wow.
Yep. So that's a fun ingredient topic we'll talk about later.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I hear a side hustle happening. I think Amy the cheesemonger is that could happen. You should make that happen.
Well, which is funny because I had we have wine clubs here in Temecula, and one of the people I work with the most, they're like, why don't you just open your own allergen-friendly winery? I'm like, not possible. Financing, but you can't really be allergen-friendly. Anyone who claims they're allergen-friendly are lying to you.
Right. Well, that's another point that you make in the book that I thought was really, really fascinating is, just because it's not an allergy recognized by the USDA or other government agency doesn't mean that it's not an allergy. And so to me, that was really eye-opening because I think, for good reason, we rely on, people who are scientists and government officials and people like that to explain to us better, like, hey, here's hard to remember that not everything is officially classified that way, but you can be allergic to it.
Yeah. Yep. And, and in my case, I took it a little bit farther and said, since the corn lobby got to write the allergy statement for the US government, of course, no one's allergic to it, even though the first recorded case of someone possibly having a corn allergy was in 1991, and it was a pregnant woman who they gave a dextrose IV to. So she at least came out with a dextrose allergy because she had literally anaphylaxis in childbirth because of the dextrose IV.
Wow.
And but you can't be allergic to corn.
Nope. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is. And I really, when I was first getting diagnosed, one of the things I constantly heard in my communities was, well, it's always better in Europe. Europe recognizes it as an allergen. They actually don't, but they've banned the ingredients that corn makes. So that's why a lot of people with our allergies can live in Europe, but not here.
Interesting.
Because the ingredients you'd be allergic to aren't allowed.
Well, that's a workaround, I guess.
We're not going to upset the corn lobby. We're just going to ban their ingredients.
Yeah. Just go through the back door. That's fine. That's fine. Oh my gosh. I love it.
So yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Did you have any other questions?
Well, I mean, obviously we talked a little bit about the book, and what I would like to know as your editor is where do you go from here? Because Vanessa and I have kind of walked this journey with you a little bit because, the book has changed so much, which I think is such a natural evolution for you, right? And as you've built your business, you were kind of building the plane while you were flying it, right? And so, we were going to do the corn dilemma, and then you're like, oh, hey, guess what? I'm going to do a new business thing, and here it is, and it's hidden consumer, and we loved it, right? And so then we're like, now the book has to change. So, the book's been through a lot of iterations. Your business has been through a lot of iterations. Can you talk to me, because I'm curious, about how you see this emerging book kind of fitting into your content ecosystem as a thought leader? Because that's really what you're doing here, right? You're positioning yourself to be that thought leader, and you are that thought leader. So I can't wait to hear, how all are you gonna use your book within this universe for yourself?
The book is the launching pad. It really is. I've been doing a lot of content around the book and the basics and consulting, but really this is a full shift into how do we help businesses and consumers at the same time. So I'm not out to work with Pepsi. I'm not going to work with Mars. They don't care about what I do unless it impacts their bottom line negatively. Then they'll care. But I'm out to work with like the B Corps, the people who are really concerned about they're concerned about the hidden consumer without realizing it, but they've created this product with purpose. And the whole goal is, as a consultant, I'm going to help you understand how you can market differently to bring in the consumer that you actually need, because the people who need you and who understand which value you drive, they're going to be your repeat client. They're not going to buy you, try you, and move on to the next biggest and greatest thing. They have Pepsi products for that.
Right. Yeah.
The people who are looking for those products with purpose become we've heard it in the past, your raving cheerleaders, your raving fans. They become your consistent bottom line, right? So we're helping the consumer, which is a big part of what I want to do, is really make sure that on one of the podcasts I did a few years ago, it was really about how do we make grocery shopping safe for everyone, so moms can go shopping and know the food they bought for their allergy kid is going to be safe, right? But we're helping the businesses on the other side who need my business, right? They need not hidden consumers business, but they need that client to buy from their product. So I see this helping both people. I can help the consumer, I can help the business, and we can drive more of an impact through the businesses we run. At the end of the day, I'm very impact driven. How are we going to change the world one step at a time? And that's really where I see hidden consumers is jumping in and being more impact driven and helping other companies be impact driven on top of that.
Yeah, I love that. And to me, when we were doing the first read of the book, we were all kind of like, well, who's the book for? Like,
Right.
because you talk about a lot, right? And so we were like, well, should it be for the hidden consumer to know how to navigate? Should it be for the businesses to know how to reach the hidden consumer? I think you did a really beautiful job of dovetailing the two in the book. I really feel like it has equal value for both groups, and because they have to work together. I mean, brands can't serve their customers unless the customers know how to talk to them and say, hey, I need this out of your brand. I need this from you, or I need this kind of packaging. And brands have to be able to receive that feedback and figure out a way to implement it. And so that's what I love about the book. I think it really is concerned and careful for both audiences and addresses both with care. And I love that.
Thank you. That was hard because you're not supposed to really write a book with two audiences in mind.
Right. Yeah. But truly, with this topic, how could you not?
Yeah.
I mean, you had to kind of do the definitions, and here's what a hidden consumer is, and I like it because you can read it if you think you are one to see yourself in the book, but likewise, again, for the brands, which I think, is the big takeaway there. So,
yeah. And it's funny that you bring up the first book because the Corn Dilemma was I got all my anger out in one manuscript. Like the corn lobby would have sued me.
Yeah. Yeah. You toned it down a lot, and I toned it down a little more even at the end. I was like, we better take that sentence out. We don't want to get in anybody's crosshairs there. Like getting their corn stilts. We don't want to get in their corn stilts.
Yep. I like to I like to call that my book of anger, and it helped me grow. It was funny. Once I got that all out, though, I could really start diving into what the hidden consumer was, which is what really led to this iteration, which I think this is what the fourth iteration, which is finally going to print.
Yep, it is. But I think that's a wonderful way to look at the writing process, because a lot of people sit down and they say, this is it, this is the draft, this is the book, and boom, and I'm done. And sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it takes years to get through some of the more emotional, pathos-driven arguments so that you can, I don't mean to be nerdy and get into Aristotle, but so you can kind of start to pull your logos, your logical arguments in and have a more refined product. So I am all for, as Anne Lamott called them, can I cuss on here? Shitty first drafts. If you haven't read Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, you should. But she has a wonderful essay about writing your first draft that is just that, getting it on the page. It's messy. It may be angry. It may be emotional, and then step back, take some time, put it in the drawer, walk away, and then come back with clarity. And I think that's what you did here. So, A plus.
It was cool because like that first draft, I was able to write between 5,000 and almost 8,000 words a day. Like I was but I had all my anger. I just let it go. But with the reiterations, I'm like, okay, if I hit 1,000 a day, I'll be super happy. Because it's put more thought into it. And that makes a difference too. So that's why, I mean, it took 3 years to get to this point, and it only took like, I think 2 months to write the first version. Says a lot right there.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
All right. If you guys are interested in the book, here is the Hidden Consumer website. it's on there twice. Excellent. I had some fun today with my getting links in. And let's, for fun, if you're on your computer and have your phone handy, here is the QR code for the book. Pre-order your copy. Release date is September 16th. And keep an eye on my socials because I'll have some fun news if you live in the Inland Empire or Southern California area. Some fun stuff coming up for September 3rd. So just before the book is officially released. And let's see if I can find that link again. Go ahead. So one more time, go to thehiddenconsumer.com/home. If you want to go to the full website, find all the places you can order the book from, where I'm going to be at. There's a press and events page. You can read the articles I've been writing since the book. We finished the big portion of the book. And you can see my YouTube channel playlists live on my website as well. So with that, any last words, Jen?
Gosh, I would just say stay cool. Don't let the corn sweat get to you. And, and the best way to do that is by sitting down and writing your book. So get out there and write, everybody.
Yep. And I will say I did use your writing proposal. I don't think I followed it really well, but that your writing proposal course was very instrumental in getting this really refined. So for anyone out there, take the course, get your proposal together, and then reach out because it'll probably be smoother than mine. All right. With that, have a great day, everyone. I will see you again. The next episode that I'll be doing will be on ingredients with a focus on cheese. And what is it that they're adding to regular cheese that is making me sick and might be affecting you as well? So that will be next week, and have a great day, everyone.